this was a very provocative, to me, in a good way, in a very good way, chapter which you named Temperance and Tobacco. I have few very important uh, quotations I want to read from the book, not from my notes. You said that just as the classical virtue of courage dwells in the middle space between cowardice and rashness, so does temperance, for Aristotle, which you just mentioned, dwell midway between self-indulgence and insensitivity. That is to say, true temperance or self-control manifests itself neither in gluttony nor asceticism, neither
Right.
in a hot prodigality nor a dry puritanism. To deny and mortify the appetites is as intemperate as is to overindulge them. Wow. And then you said, indeed, the former may be even worse than the latter. So those who want to completely be living in a way like the ancient ascetics, it's
Right.
very hard for me to pronounce the word, maybe worse than those who are actually indulging in alcohol or food in excessive way. And then you said, you gave an example that we find in the Gospels, that is the abstinent um, Pharisees who are more apt to reject Christ than the carousing prostitutes and tax collectors. So have we not mixed pure religion with moralism all this time? I find myself in my early ages of Christianity, when I became Christian a little over 20 years ago, my vision, my understanding of a Christian was like the one who never says a bad word, the one who doesn't have a tattoo,
Right.
the one who doesn't drink, the one who doesn't smoke. I was believing in moralism more than the gospel.
It's all, we take the negative tact. I mean, see, look, this is the way it's supposed to be. Good is the positive and primary thing. Evil is the negative, the negation. Evil, as Augustine taught us, is a privation of good. It is a perversion, a corruption. It's almost a nothing. Good, but we have turned it, especially in America, sometimes we turn it around and we think that goodness means not doing anything evil, right? So goodness is not the active, powerful thing we see in Aslan, particularly, but goodness means sitting around and not doing this and not doing that, not doing that, rather than moving forward with power. Now, I'm not saying it's a good thing to be, carousing and getting drunk, but the interesting thing is, at least in the Gospels, those people often recognize their need. They are seeking life and joy, and they're finding it in the wrong places, but they're seeking after the right thing. When Jesus speaks to the woman at the well, he does not condemn her and say, "Why are you looking for love and acceptance?" Right? No, what he's saying is, what you're seeking is good, but you're looking for love in all the wrong places, as they say in the South, their own country song. You're looking for love in the wrong. Let me show you what you're truly seeking: the living water that will be in you like a well bursting, spouting forth to eternal life. Whereas the sometimes the ones that go to the other extreme of asceticism are like self-protective. I'm okay. I'm pure. Pharisees means the pure ones, I think, literally. And I am closed off, and I don't need it, and I don't want your life. Look, I think True Love Waits was a great movement, Nicole. I remember when I was younger, people would wear purity rings to say that I am going to remain celibate until marriage, and that's a good thing. But it can become a bad thing if it becomes a badge of some kind of negative puritanical crusade, a sort of disgust with sexuality. No, no. The reason sex is saved for marriage is it is a good thing. It is a pure thing. But again, sometimes we become too negative and then we pat ourselves on the back and we become legalistic. So that I mean, even a Baptist who are more into grace than Baptists, but I'm a Baptist because of grace and because I don't smoke or drink or chew or hang out with people who do. Right? I mean, the weird thing is that a lot of Baptists could call Catholics legalistic, but a lot of Baptists are more legalistic than Catholics. Most Catholics are not particularly legalistic. They have their own problems, but so it's kind of an ironic thing. We need to find the right balance. But there is a time for everything. When you were a kid, didn't you watch Footloose, where they're at that place where they're not allowed to dance? And he reads Ecclesiastes. There is a time to mourn and there's a time to dance. There's a time for each of those things. Now, I'm not doing special pleading. I'm a Baptist and I actually don't drink. But the reason I don't drink is that I don't need alcohol. I already have a sanguine nature. But there are some people who a drink or two can bring them out. They're closer to their family and their friend, but it has to be done in moderation. I mean, it is in the Bible that it says wine that gladdens the heart. And one of the images of the New Jerusalem will be a place of aged wine, right? I mean, so it's not, the Bible never forbids that out of hand, right? And we need to find the right balance and understand there's a time for everything. Look, if you've ever read the Prince Caspian, there are two dwarves, Nickabrick and Trumpkin, and you have to read the book because the movie leaves out the big flashback. We don't quite understand the development of their characters. But in the beginning of Prince Caspian, both Nickabrick and Trumpkin are unbelievers. They don't believe in Aslan. They don't believe in the four children. They are rather cynical. But Trumpkin will grow and become one of the great heroes of Narnia, where Nickabrick will go sour, try to call back the White Witch, and be killed in a despicable manner. The thing is, when you read the book, there are all sorts of clues as to which will have which ending, even though they're the same in the beginning. But in the beginning, when Caspian falls amongst them, Nickabrick wants to kill him immediately. Trumpkin says, "We can't kill him. He's a guest," right? Nickabrick wants to get help from the hags. Trumpkin says, "No, we can't get help from evil." He has a moral sense. When Nickabrick is asked to do something, he says, "I won't go." Trumpkin says, "Look, you're the king. Give me an order and I will go. I don't even believe in this, but I'm going to go do it." Right? And here's the funny thing. We know Nickabrick is going to be the bad guy because he doesn't smoke and he doesn't dance. Isn't that funny? Baptists, we love the Narnia. But look, there is a time to dance. And when they're having a dance, Trumpkin joins in the dance, even though I'd like to say, he dances like an engineer, blah, blah, like a Frankenstein monster. He's got no rhythm. But at least he tries. But Nickabrick refuses to dance. There is a time when we need to join in the dance of life. That's why in Prince Caspian, Aslan brings Bacchus, the god of wine, women, and song, to help break and restore the countryside, right? The movie threw out Bacchus. Even Hollywood can't understand that there is a kind of thing as sacred madness that is often needed, but not all the time, in the right proportion. Temperance, again, is not never doing anything. It's finding the proper mean between the extremes.